Old Man Thanos is an alternate version of the Mad Titan who lived for millions of years and defeated all the superheroes of Earth. He made Frank Castle's Ghost Rider his servant and turned the almighty Hulk into his pet. This version of Thanos is an all-powerful planet-conquering Titan who killed off every living being in the universe to please the entity called Death. If you are not aware of it, Thanos' comic counterpart did not have a noble purpose like his MCU counterpart. The Mad Titan of the comics was only seeking power and killing off people because he wanted to impress Death. Thanos loved Death. That's the sole reason he fought every entity in the universe. He believed that if he killed all the life forms on Earth, then eventually, Death would be impressed by his valor and stay by his side. In today's video, we will discuss the story of Old Man Thanos, who achieved his goal of eradicating all life forms in the universe to meet the love of his life, Death. But before we get started with the video, we have a small request for you. If you like our content, subscribe to us and like this video. It might be just a simple click for you, but it means a lot to us. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get started. Old Man Thanos has a mission for Thanos. The story of this comic starts in an alternate world with Thanos conquering Chitauri Prime, the homeworld of the Chitauran people. After killing the current ruler of Chitauri Prime, Thanos sits on the throne of their world. One of his generals informs him about an entity tearing apart their atmosphere and entering their homeworld. Thanos wonders who this entity could be, and we soon witness that it is none other than the Ghost Rider. This Ghost Rider was from the future. He confronts Thanos and asks him to come with him. Thanos thinks that Mephisto has sent Ghost Rider to bring him to hell, but Ghost Rider denies his claims. He attacks the undead spirit of vengeance, but the Ghost Rider quickly binds the Mad Titan with his chains. He reveals that these chains were made from the bones of Sidorak. The spirit of vengeance then stops the flow of time around Thanos, using a piece of Time Stone. He reveals that the Time Stone has lost its previous powers, and if he wants to take Thanos to his intended place, he needs to charge it with cosmic power. Ghost Rider powers the Time Stone, and in an instant, he was millions of years into the future. Ghost Rider throws him in front of his master's throne. Thanos is angry and demands an explanation for such behavior. He claims that he will kill anyone who opposes him, and Ghost Rider's master comes out of the shadows and reveals that there is no one alive to oppose him because he has already won. This is when we get to see that the master of this comic, Ghost Rider, is none other than Old Man Thanos. We then get a backstory of how Old Man Thanos came into being. He was born to a race of Eternals, but he was a bit different. He was a mutant, born with a deviant gene. His birth mother, Suisun, lost her mind when she stared into the eyes of the baby Thanos. Later, when Thanos turned 12, he killed his own mother. He became obsessed with death when he got older, and we know what happened next. He tried to conquer the universe countless times with various methods. None of it was successful, until Thanos altered and experimented on his own deviant biology to increase his strength and intelligence. The result of this experiment was that he grew stronger and wiser with age, while the rest of the heroes of the universe became weaker and died at his hands. Later, Thanos also killed the Celestials using Black Bolt and built a new temple with the bones of the Celestials to spend the rest of his life. Right now, the Old Man Thanos was face to face with his former self. The young Thanos attacks his older self. Considering him an imposter, the young Mad Titan easily overpowers his older self. King Thanos tells him that he only brought him here because he wanted his help with something. Young Thanos is unwilling to hear anything and attacks his older self. He is reluctant to accept that this is his older version until Old Man Thanos calls him by the name Dione. Dione is the original name given to him by his mother, and only Thanos is aware of this name. Young Thanos asks his older self what he needs help with, and the Old Man Thanos says he lost someone and needs his help to get them back. And we soon get to see who this Old Man Thanos is referring to. He was talking about Death. End of the Fallen One. After both the younger and older versions of Thanos come into agreement, Old Man Thanos seeks the help of Ghost Rider and gives his younger self a vision of all of his accomplishments. Ghost Rider's penance stare can give anyone a glimpse into their most horrendous crimes, but not Thanos, because he didn't have a shred of regret for his actions. Instead, he felt ecstasy and pure joy over his accomplishments. After watching his most horrendous deeds, young Thanos asks his older self what his plan is, and why Death is still not here. His older self explains that he killed off everyone to please Lady Death, but there was one who was able to slip away, whom he was never able to kill. His younger self demands to know who this guy is. Old Man Thanos reveals that it is the Fallen One. Young Thanos thinks he's joking, but his older self is serious. He asks his younger self to get ready because the Fallen One is on his way, and they will have a last little dance. Young Thanos is still visibly confused, but the Ghost Rider arrives and takes the young Thanos to Green Goliath. Ghost Rider reveals that they have made Hulk eat his own teammates, including Steve Rogers. When the Mad Titan asks if he knows the Rider, the Ghost Rider introduces himself as Frank Castle, the Punisher. Later, young Thanos confronts his older self in a temple he has built for Lady Death. and asks why he is making him wait. Old Man Thanos draws Surtur's Sword of Doom and points it at his younger self, asking him not to behave like this in the sacred Temple of Death. Young Thanos mocks his older self, claiming that he got over Lady Death a long time ago. His older self laughs and claims that he still isn't over her because no one can walk away from death. Suddenly, there's a blast in the temple, and Old Man Thanos realizes that the Fallen One is here. We then witness that the Fallen One is none other than a future version of the Silver Surfer. This version of Silver Surfer comes with an army and starts fighting both the versions of Thanos and the Ghost Rider. The Ghost Rider quickly takes down the army with his powers, but the Fallen One is still not dead. Old Man Thanos confronts the Silver Surfer and asks why he has waited so long to fight him. The Silver Surfer reveals that he was not waiting. He was working to become worthy. And then we see that this Silver Surfer could wield the Mjolnir. He attacks Thanos and the Rider, and they all engage in a heated battle. The Surfer wields the Mjolnir, destroys the Mad Titan's temple, and seemingly kills off the Ghost Rider. The Old Man Thanos mocks Surfer and claims he unleashed something he can't contain. Suddenly, an angry Hulk rises and starts attacking the Silver Surfer. He tries to calm down the Goliath and is successful at it. Hulk turns back to Bruce Banner and begs the Surfer to kill him, but before he can do anything, Old Man Thanos ambushes both of them and impales Bruce Banner and the Surfer with Surtur's Sword of Doom. Silver Surfer still had some fight left in him. He fights, but is no match for the combined overwhelming power of both versions of the Mad Titan. In the end, Old Man Thanos kills off the Fallen One, and his lover, Lady Death, comes to him dressed for a wedding. Aftermath of King Thanos and the Vanishing Reality. After defeating the final living being in the form of the Fallen One, Lady Death was finally ready to accept Thanos. She was dressed for a wedding, but stopped at the Mad Titan's doorstep. Young Thanos confronts Lady Death and asks her why she stopped. He demands to know why she plays such mind games. What more could she want? Lady Death does not give any reply, but the Mad Titan understands what he has to do. He has to kill his older self to be with Lady Death. He realizes that his older self never called him here to defeat the Fallen One, but to kill himself, because he was the king. He was the Mad Titan, and if he had to die, he would want only to be killed by himself and no one else. Thus, a final battle between both the outcasts began. They both beat each other to a pulp. They take out all their pent-up frustrations, stress, and anger upon each other. At the end of it, young Thanos is about to give the finishing blow to end his older self's life, but Old Man Thanos begs his younger self to kill himself. This disgusts his younger self. He mocks his older self, claiming that a king never begs. He leaves his older self half dead, takes the time stone, and leaves. But before he goes back to his timeline, he claims that he will never become his older version, will never beg to be killed, and will change the timeline. Thus, at the end of it, Lady Death comes closer to Old Man Thanos, and his reality turns to dust. This was the end for him, but before he disappears, he asks Lady Death what his younger self did to erase his timeline. Lady Death finally speaks and answers that he won. How powerful is old King Thanos? King Thanos is the most powerful version of Thanos that we have ever witnessed. We have seen Thanos wield the Infinity Gauntlet and kill off thousands of heroes in his quest to impress his lover, but he is never successful at it. But this version of Thanos broke the curse by experimenting with himself. He used his deviant genes and turned them into his biggest strength. He designed himself in such a way that he would keep getting stronger and wiser with time. We can say that he won because of the reason he was shunned. He was an outcast because of his mutation, but the same mutation helped him win and killed all the heroes of the universe. Not only that, Thanos also killed off cosmic level entities like Galactus and the Celestials. This act moved him to the top of the food chain, making him the strongest being to have ever walked on Earth. He lived for 1,000,000 years and might have been able to survive 1,000,000 more if his younger self had not erased his timeline. Marvelous verdict. King Thanos was the strongest version of Thanos. Even though he won every war that life threw his way, it is still unclear how powerful this version of Thanos really is, because, in the end, his younger version was close to killing him. One can claim that he lost to his younger self because he wanted to die. However, that still does not justify him getting butchered by a much younger and less powerful version of himself. Watching how Thanos was just turned into a plot device in the What If series, it would be cool to see this storyline being adapted in one of the What If episodes. Even if they don't completely adopt this same storyline, it would be cool to see what would have happened if the Avengers had not defeated Thanos during the final battle for Earth. Comment below what you think would have happened if Thanos won the final war in Avengers Endgame. With that being said, if you like our content, like it and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.